Conditions started off bad and got worse. The fabulous new stadium at Lasswade may be excellent, but it certainly doesn't escape the wind, and it was the home side who opted to play with the elements in the first half, taking the game to JED-FOREST, and they weren't intimidated at all. Two early penalties by fly half Andrew Reid gave them a 6-0 lead early on. Such was the strength of the wind that it was impossible for Jed to kick their way out of trouble. The only option was to run with the ball, and here's Jamie McCraw doing just that. The slippery surface made even that tricky at times, but good support meant that a few pick and drives were employed and valuable yardage was gained. Lasswade hadn't tasted defeat this season, and they weren't going to give that record up without a fight. But long passes in these conditions was not the answer. But on 28 minutes, it was the home side who went over for a try. Prop Dale Robertson driven over by his pack to make it 11-0. And with a further Reid penalty, they were 14 up at the break. But would it be enough? Well, the heavens opened, the wind got stronger, and you had to fancy Jed to claw back that lead with the awful weather pounding into the faces of the Lasswade team. Jed head coach Cliff Livingston not enjoying the soaking here, but no doubt looking forward to his team regaining control of this match. Well, that was the script, but not the version according to Lasswade. From the restart, Andrew Reid jinked upfield and took play deep into Jed territory. They clearly caught Jed on the hop, and as the men in blue went backwards, Lasswade sensed another score. Phase after phase, they pounded their opponent's line. Jed's defence was solid, but it soon started to creak. After relentless pressure, Lasswade finally got their second try. Number 8 Donald Hearn piling over to take his side 19 points clear. The JED-FOREST secret weapon, though, is 18-year-old Ewan Scott, fresh from playing for Jed Thistle junior team, and he got his side's first points with a well-taken penalty. 19-3 then, and you had to feel sorry for the poor scoreboard operator who should have received a medal for bravery. Well, Scott added another penalty and then had an opportunity to land a third from fully 60 metres. It really was one of the great kicks in club rugby. The home team still showed incredible determination and never once dropped below 100% effort. They were prepared to run the ball from anywhere and make ground the hard way. The only problem is, if you give away possession, your opponents only need to kick the ball and let the wind do the rest. However, this was an area Jed couldn't adapt to. Their kicks weren't accurate, went over the dead ball line several times, and immediately Lasswade got possession and territory back. This was a huge boost to Lasswade, and their big hearts were pumping even more as they could see the finishing line in sight. The fitness in the whole squad had to be commended, and instead of running out of steam with all the effort of taking on the sleet, the wind and JED-FOREST from Premier 2, they continued to drive forward and very nearly got a third try. Jed held out on this occasion, but they weren't out of the woods yet. Still Lasswade ran at them, and it was only due to a bit of over-eagerness on the part of their hosts that allowed them to clear their lines. A fourth penalty by Scott made it 19-12 with less than a minute remaining, but Jed still needed a converted try to send this match into extra time. A big defensive effort knocked the ball out of play, and that was the last move of the game. It was an almighty effort from Lasswade, who can now proudly say they've taken the huge scalp of JED-FOREST, and it was no more than they deserved.
Brilliant performance for the boys. Forwards stuck it up the jumper in the second half, and the backs did what they were meant to do in the first half when we had the wind.
It was all about tactics, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we brought it in this week, the tactic we've rolled with today. and it worked perfectly. All the coaching staff decided that we'd play that, and it worked to a T. All the boys played it.
Now, you played with the incredible wind in the first half. You got 14 points. A lot of people thinking that wasn't going to be enough against a Premier 2 side.
Yeah, well, I feel at the end there, their guy had a boot on him anyway, and he was pinging it for all sorts of areas. So I think the try in the second half when we came out and got one, I think that helped us a lot.
I've got to put my hands up to Lasswade. I thought they thoroughly deserved their win, and the conditions played a lot better than us.
14-0 at half-time. You must have fancied your chances with the wind and also the sleet in the second half.
A wee bit, but sometimes when the wind's that strong, sometimes it's not an advantage, because you've seen it in the second half, we were kicking balls and we're just going straight dead. Sometimes once you can, when you're playing at the wind, what you've got to do. But 14 points, probably, we got the worst start of the second half. It was actually, that's probably the poorest part of the whole game for me. It was the start of the second half, losing a try after about 2 minutes.
I think it's fair to say as well, Lasswade played the tactical game better.
Oh, 100%. The conditions there, I probably played a wee bit wind, because I'm used to it around here, but like I say, they did, and like I say, they thoroughly deserved their win.
Now, of course, that's 6 defeats, I think, on the bounce, so things are not going in the right way for you. How do you turn things around, Cliff?
Well, we've just got to work hard. I mean, there's no big excuse, but I mean, since we played Dundee, we've never had a 2-week training session in a row, because we've not had conditions. Down at Riverside's been frozen for the last 6 weeks. No making that an excuse, but if you can't get out and practice things, we've not had a chance to do. Even this week, we were an hour in the gym on Tuesday night, Thursday night, total pitch frozen, so we've not had a lot to do. So hopefully we might get a bit of ease in the weather, and we'll work hard for it to get back on the road for Aberdeen on Saturday.